Oh my god, you must be so uncomfortable in that skirt. It's like super long. Well, no, this is how I like it. I like my skirts to be longer. Aren't you uncomfortable in that? You look really restrained. No, actually, I'm pretty comfortable. I feel great. Oh my gosh, you must be so uncomfortable. Your clothing looks so impractical. Yes, I am very uncomfortable. I am very much in pain. I am being enforced by the patriarchy to wear this. Please free me of the shackles of this clothing. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back to my channel. If you're not new, thank you so much for, sticking here. I know I took a longer break than usual. Things have been pretty busy, but anyway, that was long-winded. I'm Margie, and this is Margie Shenanigans, where we do shenanigans. And today I have another kind of video essay shenanigan for you. And it is specifically about this. Not this blouse, although to be honest, I love it so much. I urge anyone to write a video essay about this blouse. But about clothing and self-expression through clothing. One day I was just going about my merry existence in my history-bounding clothes, and sometimes I get looks. Because anyone who dresses eccentrically will tell you, we get looks, and we don't care, mostly. And I thought, whatever. But then one of my friends told me I had to walk over a ledge or something, like a chain, and that happened to be in my way, like on a sidewalk thing. And my friend told me, that must be impractical with that long skirt. It wasn't. It was this skirt, actually. I was just being clumsy. So that got me thinking. That got the little wheels in my brains churning. Why do people always ask the question to me as a history bounder who wears longer skirts and just generally fancier clothing? Are you uncomfortable in that? The short answer is no. The TLDR of this video is no. I'm not uncomfortable. But if you want to stick around for a video essay about what I found out about this question, because when I analyzed it deeper, it was actually fascinating to peel the layers of this question. And when I got to that final layer, I was like, it all makes sense. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Comfort in clothing and what it means to other people, what it means to you, and what it means really when someone asks you, are you comfortable in that? Because it doesn't just mean, are you physically comfortable in that? So here's a small intro to this topic, just to cover it all. So comfort is subjective. You, as a history bounder or a person who gets comments because of their eccentric way of dressing, which by the way, keep doing you, you're awesome. They're always like, if you're ever asked, are you comfortable? You might start wondering why, because everyone has different ways of dressing, much like everyone has a different way of sleeping. I'm a belly sleeper. One of my best friends is a back sleeper. I could never fall asleep on my back, yet I don't ask her, oh my god, you must be so uncomfortable, how do you do it? Because I accept that her body prefers a different sleeping position to mine. So that's how subjective comfort is on bodily matters, so much so that we have mattresses tailored to sleepers who prefer the side or the belly or the back or whatever. But that's not a thing in clothing. I found that in clothing, our definition of comfort is a very much one-size-fits-all definition of comfort. Hoodies and sweatpants, which they're not uncomfortable, but I don't like pants. So with that said, we don't assume that a sleeping position is inherently comfortable or uncomfortable. So why do we do that with clothing? First of all, let me drop a definition of comfort here. In the context of this video essay, comfort, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is the state of being physically relaxed and free from pain. This is the definition I will be referring to throughout this video. That is usually what people mean outwardly when they ask you whether you are comfortable in your clothing or not. However, about this little defining section, there is another very important aspect of comfort in this video, which is psychological comfort. I could not find a specific definition for this one, so I went with my own, which this will be how we define psychological comfort for this video. Psychological comfort, for the purpose of this video in these situations, is a state of psychological relaxation where you don't feel singled out, observed in your clothing, where you don't feel overexposed, underexposed, and just generally feel all right with the clothes that you put on your body, and you are not anxious or hyper aware of your surroundings or people's gaze because of your clothing. So here's the first official section of this video. Physical comfort. What does it mean in clothing? So the outfit of choice for people to be comfortable today is a pair of loose-fitting pants usually, or a t-shirt or a hoodie. Nowadays, skirts, especially longer skirts, are considered uncomfortable, at least in my experience, while pants have, especially in the form of loungewear, athletic wear, etc., become a symbol of comfort and liberation from the cumbersome skirt. In my experience, I encountered a lot of people who asked me, why do you wear long skirts? Because to them it seemed uncomfortable, impractical, cumbersome, but I do not mind it. I chose to wear long skirts because I'm actually more physically and mentally comfortable in long skirts than I would be in any pair of pants. And note, I wear my skirts from below the knee to ankle length. However, I usually prefer mid-calf. That's my day-to-day length. I don't usually go ankle length for day-to-day. However, I do not find longer skirts uncomfortable. They don't impede my movement. They don't bother me. I actually feel very secure in them. So my skirts, in the physical sense, are comfortable because they are long enough not to cause wardrobe malfunction, yet full enough that when I need to tie my shoelace or pick something up, I can comfortably bend and my skirt will basically form a curtain around me, again preventing malfunctions or flashing. Same with my shoes of choice. I usually wear flats, Oxfords, or boots, never sneakers. You will not catch me dead wearing those unless I am doing sports. I just don't like them. However, people assume that I must be so uncomfortable in those shoes. I don't mind them actually. I find that they support my foot very well. I do get foot pain after walking for a very long time, whatever pair of shoe I am wearing. It's just my feet, and they don't mind being put in ballet flats. Ballet flats or just flat shoes? I just mean the flat shoes. The majority of people who ask me these things choose to go long skirt free and flappy blouse free because this is beautiful, but it is a bit uncomfortable because I need to keep flapping it. So, as I was saying, most people choose to go long skirt free and flat or Oxford or boot free for their daily life because of their definition of comfort, which is completely okay and up to them. But this got me thinking, since there are a myriad of different body types, why aren't there a myriad of different perceptions of comfort, bodily comfort in clothing in our modern society? Because I'm not the only one here. A lot of people complain that pants are uncomfortable. I have heard a lot of people say leggings are uncomfortable, jeans are uncomfortable, especially those pairs of pants. I'm not an expert. I don't wear them that often. I mean, if we want to go into the philosophical, yes, there are a myriad of types of bodily comforts. Does our society accept them? No, because we've fallen into the trap of the one size fits all, or like two sizes fits most, in that what happens in the shops, aka two sizes fits most, but then when someone with an unconventional size or body shape comes in and tries clothes, they are completely disappointed because their size is not there and they're uncomfortable. Like, it could be a matter of an inch in the bust or an inch in the hip and you're uncomfortable, but it's comfortable to most people, so therefore it should be comfortable for you. That's kind of my fast fashion rant of the day. However, why is it like this? Like, different people sleep on their backs or sides. Different people are gonna like different types of clothing. Then why is it that there are, like, in main street shops, there are like very few different options for people to be comfortable in their clothing? However, I must say, physical comfort is not the only factor that determines the standardization of comfort that occurs in our modern society. If it did, and it was widely accepted that there were very different boundaries of comfort for each person, then no one would bat an eyelash if they saw me walking down the street like this, or someone walking down the street in neon shorts in January. Now we are entering the realm of mental comfort, which is the nitty-gritty of this situation. Mental comfort is what really makes all of this make sense. As I said before, my definition of mental comfort is feeling safe, unobserved, and not having anxiety or hyper-awareness about your surroundings or your body, and just generally feel like your clothing is exposing what you want it to or should expose, or covering what you want it to or should cover. So that's mental comfort. In my personal experience, mental comfort in my clothing consists of being fairly covered. I prefer to be fairly covered, but also having enough space to move. See, with my skirts, like I said before, the curtain. I don't like pencil skirts for this reason, because however long a pencil or mermaid fitting skirt might be, I will find it uncomfortable, both mentally because I don't like it very tight around my body. It makes me feel uncomfortable, but also, again, going back to physical, it would be uncomfortable. Same with tops. I like looser fitting tops, such as this one. This is already kind of tight because I thrifted it, I didn't make it, but I prefer tops that are looser so that I feel like they're not clinging to my body physically and mentally, just because I prefer to have looser fit items around my body. That is a preference of mine. And another very important part of my mental comfort in my clothing is to feel secure. So, like I said earlier, wardrobe malfunctions, I like to feel secure that I will not have a wardrobe malfunction, and that is why I don't enjoy tight clothing, because you never know. And also aesthetically pleasing to my own standards. That's what makes me feel mentally comfortable in the end. If I like it, then I will feel mentally comfortable with it. I will slowly build up those standards of mental comfort. For example, this blouse, I'm breaking it in mentally because I've never worn such a shiny satin blouse before in my life, but I find it very aesthetically pleasing to my standards, so I am slowly starting to get comfortable with it. And this is the first time I wear it, so you're literally witnessing me doing it right now. So everyone has their own limits for mental comfort in their clothing. A skirt could be too long and too short for two different people, but be the exact same garment. And that's because everyone has a different perception and different preferences of what they see and what they want on their body. Now, the first time I really started thinking about this was when I was in school. I was 13, 8th grade, and I was wearing a uniform. I had lost a little bit of weight because, you know, growing girl and stuff. And my skirt, the waistband of my skirt, sewing people, you know when this happens, the waistband of my skirt, bloop, went down. And so it was, I think, a couple inches. Well, the skirt before, when it was fitting my larger waist, was above my knee. I think the skirt now was right below my knee because it dropped almost at my hip line and I needed to have it altered. I was walking down a hallway and one of my female classmates just looks at me and goes, "Isn't that skirt a bit too long?" I was very confused. I had heard various remarks, not on me, but at least various remarks in public about, oh, that girl's skirt is really short, or for the school dress code, oh, that skirt is too short, you can't wear it that short. So I was bamboozled. It wasn't a choice. I hadn't explored this wardrobe choice yet, because that was around the age when I started experimenting with my history bounding wardrobe, but I hadn't yet, so it wasn't a choice that my skirt was long, which to me, that length right now, in my personal perception of my wardrobe and my body and my clothes, that's short. That's a mini skirt to me. And I was being told it was too long. So then that got me thinking, what's too long? That really brought me back to this conclusion that there's no such thing as a skirt that's too long or too short for everyone, but there is such a thing as a personal limit for everyone. If a skirt is too long for you, don't wear it. If a skirt is too short for you, don't wear it. It's as simple as. And it's really hard sometimes because other people's judgment. I kind of felt singled out in that situation as a younger girl who was building up her confidence. And honestly, sometimes I do still feel a bit singled out when people talk about the length of my hem. Not because I don't feel mentally comfortable in it, but because I don't like being singled out, and I'm still working on my self-confidence journey with my clothing. But I think that's something that everyone goes through if you dress a bit more eccentrically, and it gets better. You get so much more confident as time gets by, and because eventually all that matters for confidence is your own mental comfort. So this is sort of when my two ideas clicked, because the too long debate and debacle usually isn't really brought by mental comfort reasons, unless it's being used as a derogatory thing, which we don't like shaming women, female identifying people, or anyone for that matter about how they dress. We don't like that. We will not do that in this space. But in that situation of the too long skirt when I was 13, I thought, why would she be asking me that? And I may be overanalyzing this, but this is what I came up with. Isn't that skirt too long for school? Aren't people going to tell you? Aren't you trying to avoid their comments? So I think that girl's mental comfort, when she saw me wearing a skirt that I was physically and mentally comfortable in, and I wasn't even noticing the changes of it, to be honest, was threatening her own mental comfort, because maybe if she had worn a skirt that long, which to me is short, at school, she would have gotten comments, which she didn't want. So she was putting herself in my shoes. And this is where it all adds up. I think when people ask history bounders or anyone who dresses eccentrically, are you comfortable in that? It's not just them asking you whether you are physically comfortable in your clothing. It's them putting themselves in your shoes, imagining walking down that street dressed as a loosely based Edwardian. I say loosely based because this blouse is from the 70s. And they don't like it because that's not their style, which is of course totally fine because everyone has a different style. But they feel singled out, they feel observed. And so their mental comfort is threatened when they put themselves in your shoes, in the shoes of the person who is mentally and physically comfortable with their clothing. And so they suddenly become physically and mentally uncomfortable just thinking about wearing the clothes that you're wearing. And therefore, by proxy, they think you must be physically and mentally uncomfortable as well. So when people ask you if you're comfortable in your clothing, I do think it's not just the physical comfort, but subconsciously there is an element of their own mental comfort coming into play here. However, when a person such as me is wearing clothing that they are physically and mentally comfortable in, they will not even think twice about when they're wearing it. Like, to me, I don't like it when I have to keep adjusting something. Like this thing, I keep adjusting it, sure. I'm kind of understanding how it works now because I don't really have to adjust it that much. It does its own thing and it's fine. But usually when you're comfortable, you don't even think twice about what's in your body. You just go about your day because your body is covered, your body is comfortable, and it is in a pain-free state. So you don't even think about it, but another person might because they're not used to that. And so they see that, put themselves in your shoes and imagine how uncomfortable to them, not to you, it must be to wear that clothing. And therefore assume that you must be uncomfortable, which is not the truth. In my experience, once you get used to clothing that you like wearing, your mental comfort is under no threat. And actually, my mental comfort is very much threatened when I think about wearing a crop top and jeans. I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable just think about it. So that's the whole gist of it, really. They don't just mean physical comfort, they mean mental comfort too. And because we didn't really establish in our modern society that everyone has a different perception of mental and physical comfort, which I think that it should be something that we expand on as a modern society, because we always say we're so different from each other. What about our mental and physical comfort boundaries? Those are different too. They're not a one size fits all. Not to mention, why would I, or a person 100 years ago in a case of someone who is costuming and wearing a corset or a bustle, wear something that we are so physically and mentally uncomfortable in, that we are in pain in, that we feel observed in? The answer is we wouldn't, and we don't. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for sticking around. Sorry if this was a bit ranty. It was hard for me to write the script and bullet points because it's a conclusion that I came up with in years, but I do think it's worth sharing, especially if you are starting your own history bounding journey, or you just wanted something interesting to hear or someone ramble about, I don't know. But if you want more videos like this, hit the thumbs up button and let me know in the comments what you think. Have you ever gotten a comment or singled out because of what you were wearing? And if you are someone who wears eccentric, history-like, or whatever clothing, unconventional clothing, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are so special, and rock it. Honestly, we're rocking it. You're rocking it, and we love it here. So if you want to join this community of nerds and makers and history bounders, subscribe. I'll see you all in my next shenanigan. Bye!
Costume change! Oh no, I'm gonna have to take this freaking crop top off. 2018, I'm coming back. Oh my god. Oh, I feel like I'm 13 again.